Okay, 1678, good luck. Just gone green, so pawn is now connected. 620 games for my opponents, just that little bit more than I've done. Just develop and try and castle. Let's bring the bishop up, then pawn up the bishop somewhere and castle, just that sort of concept. So e3. Does it matter where I go? If you go here, you can sometimes run into this issue. But it is a more naturally attacking square. Okay, I'll normally go to e2, so I'll go to d3 this game. Just castle. So you just got to watch out this push or be prepared to take. How do I want to do this? I'm going to prepare a pawn push, maybe c3. This pawn is how many games? Oh, he's got nearly 3,000 in blitz, so that's a lot of games. Do I want him to take my bishop? I could just drop back here, I guess. I'm just going to drop back and try and keep the bishop. Again, c3 or a3 a move. a3 and maybe c4. So he's hit my bishop there. So I'm happy to trade that. I think I'm going to go a3 with a view to c4. Okay, let's play c4. I could have played knight in first to hit the bishop, but feels like it was still pretty much balanced position. Now I've got a chance to bring the knight up behind the pawn. Well, he's played queen forward. What's he trying to do there? He's trying to hope I move the knight and he comes in for a checkmate. So I think just knight up seems fine here. So I'm going to stick to the initial move, knight up, threatening to just capture the knight, and then I'm safe to drop back. Okay, so he's played his knight across. So take here. I wonder if he's actually wanting to go queenside, but this does give me a chance to go forward and hit that bishop. So take here, knight up, castles, takes, rook takes. It all seems fine. I'm going to get rid of that knight. So I've got this or this. If I come here though, how does he actually guard his pawn? Knight back's an immediate threat. He can't guard with a knight or the pawn. Bishop up. Maybe I push forward. Here, here. Gives him something to think about. Gives me a lot of development. Or I can just go here immediately and try and get rid of the bishop. I have a feeling he wants to go queenside. That's why I'm thinking about dropping back. Just create that immediate threat. If you guard with a queen, I can attack with my queen. I guess you can then go all in, or maybe, yeah, let's go forward, just hit the bishop. But I have a feeling he wants to go this way and fly the pawns down the board. I think that's what's likely coming. Let's just see how black plays it. Cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips there. He's played rook across rather than castling. So takes, takes. Queen up is a nuisance move. I guess you've got c3. There's not many other really good moves, so is there? Bishop up you can simply castle. Queen up now to hit the pawn. And you can't actually go here now. You could go here. I could get really bold with g4 actually. Let's just go here and see what he does to guard his pawn. Here I can obviously just take. But you do have queen down. It's whether it's something that you really want to play or not. He's played knight across, so we can take and grab a pawn now. And then we're hitting another pawn as well. That seems sensible to me, so I'm going to do that, I think. Just take and try and grab the pawn. And then we'll get a tempo because we're attacking another pawn. Okay, you've got an easy defensive move, but we can just maybe centralize the rook. We can develop the bishop somewhere. So let's centralize the rook. Just try not to get our queen trapped. Then it's a case of, do we try and blast forward? Now, right now, this pawn is hanging. So I think pawn forward is a sensible move. Everything is still nice and solid here. I mean, I guess you could try this at some point. I think I can push on, I might be wrong. And then where does the bishop go? We can go here, here, or drop back. Oh, he has actually pushed there. So I assume I just want to push on here. I don't want to spend all day thinking about that move. If he takes, I'll take with the rook. I am down 40 seconds on the clock, so you always got to bear the clock in mind. The queen will move at some point and he'll play f5. We can see that coming. And at some point, maybe bishop up, I'm not sure. If takes, I'm just going to go with the rook. Rook takes, queen takes, rook across, we still hit the pawn. Obviously, I guess he might have a move like rook coming in at some point down the line. That's what he's gone with, so I'm going to take. Now, if he does take, can I go with the pawn there and try and plant the pawn? I don't think it's that good. I think the queen feels more natural to me. It feels more natural to take with the queen. So that's what he's done. So if I take with the queen again, we get the same tempo attacking the pawn. Then we can potentially double the rook and queen up. Yeah, I'm going to play it that way. So I'm just looking at this. If he comes across with a rook, I think I can take. He's offered a queen trade, and that means all his 3 pawns are going to be split. So that should be really good for me. So I'm going to do that. Go on the open file. Now I've got to give my king a square so I don't blunder the back rank mate, which is very common, happens a lot. So I'm not sure if it matters which pawn I push now. h3, and then there's maybe less tricks from the knight. But g3, h4. If I do g3 though, you can imagine further down the line the knight could get a little bit jumpy. But we've got 3 nice individual targets to aim for now, and we're a pawn up. We've got the bishop to come forward. So it should be good, it should be. Okay, so he's pushed forward, so do I want to then go g3 now? I've got bishop up just to attack the knight and offer a trade here. Encourages this. I don't want to get a little bit too advanced with a rook. That's probably a very good move, but it might. I've still got the back rank issue, haven't I? But here down I can push. It probably is a very good move actually, isn't it? Or do I throw this in? I'm just going to throw h3 in, so it's been done, so I can't blunder the back rank in one move. Now I'm going to look to get forward. Bishop here might be a move, depends what black does. But they're the 2 candidate moves I'm looking at to attack the pawns. Okay, just click anywhere to clear the arrows. Oh, he's pushed the pawn forward, okay. I think that's fine just to take, although if I take he goes with the knight. So what about a move like bishop up now then? If he takes, I still need to take back. Here he goes with the knight, but then bishop up and he can't push his pawn. So here knight takes, bishop up. The knight's not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm going to just do that. I'm going to take and then bishop f3. There might be a trick again at some point with knight takes, but right now I think it's all fine. So again, we create a tempo by attacking the pawn. I think we're safe from any knight jumps right now. Everything is covered and we're still threatening to activate our rook. So he's gone across. So I'm looking at rook up. If you come down, I just counter and I try and create a passed pawn. So again, I don't see any reason to think too long about that. Maybe do I go up here and attack this one? No, I think I go here and hit the pawn. If he pushes, I'm going to counter push. Then it will also give me a nice square for my bishop, which he's done. He's actually done that. So do I check immediately? No, I don't think I do. I think I just push the pawn. And I want to try and march this pawn up. Rook across might be a move. Okay, so here, knight takes, king up, knight back we can take there. We can just throw a check in. I think we can just march the pawn up, so I'm looking at whether this is a move. If rook takes, I guess the pawn could just take. But knight goes back. Yeah, I'm just going to push my pawn, stick to my first idea. I don't think he's really creating any threat with this pawn. So my idea is just to simply blast the pawns forward and create a passed pawn somehow, somewhere. Like here, pawn up takes, and then just run this to the corner. Okay. Just going to still push forward. It's a difficult position, obviously, for black to play. Even here, just simply takes, and we're just threatening to push the pawn in. Rook here is probably okay. Bishop up is probably okay. Here, to kick the knight, to undermine this pawn. If you take, I guess we just attack the knight. Okay, so he's played across. I assume I just want to simply push the pawn. Takes, takes. We get tempo attacking the rook, and we're threatening to push on. It's got to be winning, hasn't it? Got to be. So let's just push on. Now, I don't think I just push on this time because his rook's covering the dark square. So I'm just going to take back. Okay, so again, I assume I just simply push on here. I could throw a check in and see if he guards his pawn. So check, he needs to guard here, I guess. Or here, rook across. Then check across. It's just this sort of concept, and it should be all cleanly winning. Yeah, just push the pawn and keep it simple. Try and play a simple chess if we can. So check and across. If he doesn't guard his pawn, then I can just take a pawn. And if he does, I can just step across and up, something like that. So he does guard the pawn. So come here, hit the pawn, threaten to push on. Knight comes round to guard, so obviously I can now push on. I could play bishop up first before he does this, but I don't think it's any real threat. So I'm going to simply push the rook up, and that should be good enough. Doesn't mean we can't blunder, of course, but it should be good enough. Now we just need to really get that knight off the board. Even if I give up the rook for the knight, that would be very, very good. Okay, he's pushed a pawn. So check. If king forward, check. You're marching forward, check. It's not quite a checkmate, almost, not quite. How's cleanest to do this? I don't care how I win, I just want to win the game, or try to. Let's throw that check in and see where the king goes. If he comes forward, it's almost a mating net, not quite. It's not far off, is it, with a bishop check? It's whether I can trap him. So he has gone back over. So I think we jump across here, hit the pawn. I'm just going to pay attention to the clock, and obviously I'm a little bit up on the clock, but just try and make sure I don't run out of time. Let's just take, so anything to get rid of that knight, as long as I don't blunder both pieces for the knight. Okay, so he's gone across. I'm just going to plant the bishop now, so it's forever guarding each other. Oh, now I can take it. That was exactly what I was trying to do, get rid of the knight. So I could even just push on here, but it should be clean just to run up. Here. He can't actually come in. If he comes in this way, he's not really achieving anything, so I just want to run the king up. Eventually black will run out of defensive moves, or I can just push my pawn up. I mean, you can shuffle your king, but I can just simply push the pawn, I think. So let's just push on. And now we can just march up, guard it, and run the king across and collect the other one. So let's go here. There's nothing wrong with him playing on, just in case I do blunder something. It does happen. Okay, I'm going to come across. Just bishop up so I can guard, then run the king up. Or I can just push forward, I guess, here. But black's got to play quicker. You've got to try and get up on the clock so that... Right, I'm going here now with a view to coming up. Maybe I've actually missed time, but he goes here. He's got to try and get up on the clock just to put me under time pressure, but obviously it's not easy when you're a minute and a half down. Now we can just run and collect. Okay, we managed to get the win. So let's pause that so we don't accidentally start another game. We'll pop that through the analyzer. Oop, I didn't mean to make any moves there. 58 moves that game was. Zuckertort opening Queen's Gambit invitation. If you click on that, it'll actually bring up, as you can see, some puzzles in that sort of opening, so you can see how to play that position generally. So you can see we're essentially better from early on in the game here, and we've managed to maintain it very well. Shouldn't take too long to finish populating that. So we have blundered somewhere here, but so here I've been better, +4, and I've dipped to +1, so I've probably blundered around here somewhere, but otherwise it's still pretty decent. 96% accuracy. My opponent 92%, so still find a lot of good moves in a losing position. Centre pawn loss is only 12, which is really good. In fact, my opponent's very good as well, 26. I think my average is 32. So my opponent's actually done very well there. So on another day, if you just have a sloppy blunder somewhere, you could easily lose one of these. So where was my blunder? So I'm +3.4 here, and it's saying I should have played bishop back to f1 instead of bishop to f3. So I should have played bishop to f1, then obviously you can take your time and play through the line that the engine says. So bishop f3, oh yeah, it does give him the knight takes h3. I was just looking at knight takes g2, I just missed knight takes h3. And it just says move the king, and then obviously I've given my pawn back in effect there. But in that position, we're still essentially better. In fact, if the engine is saying black needs to give up the centre pawn straight away to attack the bishop. Or obviously you're going to lose this one. So I think it's, you know, it's a blunder. The engine says it's a blunder, so it's a blunder. But in the end, it was a good win.